Hey guys, what's up, it's iFlynn here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Valkyr Umbral build. Now, Valkyr is one of those frames where an Umbral build actually works wonders because you want power strength, you want health, and you want armor because the base stats for your health and your armor are so high, and you also want to have a decent amount of power strength on your build. There's a lot of different ways to build Valkyr. I personally like building her for a Eternal War build, which basically buffs up your attack speed, which means you melee omega fast, and then I also complement that with the use of Hysteria to get health back, which allows me to actually deal more damage with my melee, because it opens up a mod slot where I don't have to use Life Strike, right? So that is kind of the main focus behind my Eternal War Umbral build, I guess. So, I mean, let's just go ahead and take a look at it, because Valkyr is, contrary to popular belief, one of my favorite frames just for messing around with melee. Like, I don't usually play melee frames or just melee in general a lot because I find it rather boring. I've kind of adapted that spin the win meta just while I'm playing casually, so I'm using the likes of Volt or something. But whenever I want to use Valkyr or just play with melee, I'll pick up like the Sigma and Octantis, right? Very fun weapon. I know it sucks that you have to like log in a lot to get it. Very fun weapon. And it's omega fun when you're attacking super fast and killing all of the bad guys, right? So, with the likes of this Valkyr build, your attack speed is off the charts, right? And you can extend it even further by using the likes of Arcane Strike. But the problem with stacking a lot of attack speed is you'll notice that with some combos, it actually, like, animation cancels itself. So if you were to use, like, an Akana or something, right? If you're attacking too fast, sometimes you'll notice that your full combo won't go out, which kind of sucks, and it's also important to keep in mind that whenever Melee 3.0 comes out, the focus is going to be on using your combos, right? So you don't want to have a lot of attack speed, but that being said, you know, the way that we mod our melee weapons could completely change with Melee 3.0, so that, again, is something to keep in mind. But, yeah, I don't think my Valkyr build is going to change, so I thought it would be worth showing you guys this build. Umbral Fiber, Umbral Intensify, and Umbral Vitality for the health, the armor, and the strength, of course, and then I'm stacking a little bit more strength on there with Blind Rage. Don't care about efficiency, because like I said, I use Hysteria to go in and then get some health back and then get straight out of it again, because the main focus is on stacking the duration with Eternal War, which is an augment mod which will extend the duration of Warcry by 2 seconds for every kill that you get. And with your base 100% duration, that'll go all the way up to 29 seconds. So you can have 29 seconds stored on your Warcry just ready to go, right? So, Streamline is on here to kind of counteract Blind Rage, although you can drop this if you don't really feel like having it, because, like, Warcry is going to be a one-and-done type of cast, and the only thing that your efficiency is really going to be affecting is your Hysteria, so it's up to you whether or not you want to have Streamline on. This will reduce the cost of the cast. Got my words jumbled up there, but the cost of the cast of Hysteria, and then also slightly reduce the drain over time, because right now I think with this build, your drain over time with Hysteria is 3.25, and you don't have flow on, so that's a pretty big hit to your energy. But like I said, Warcry is going to be a one and done, so you're not going to be casting that multiple times. You're going to be keeping your duration up. And then with Hysteria, like, you basically have your entire 225 energy pool for Hysteria, so you can run around in that for about, I want to say 10 seconds, and then you're pretty much done. So other than that, Augur Secrets is on here again for more power strength, because attack speed, armor reduction, etc. Gladiator Resolve for a little bit more health. I wanted to see how much health I could get on. You may want to run the likes of maybe Prime Vigor, but again, you'd have to change up the build for that, because I have literally 0 capacity on here, so, you know, that's a thing. So it is a very, I want to say risky build, because you have to be paying attention to your timer on your Warcry, right? You want to keep that up at all times, otherwise you're going to have problems recasting it 24/7, so pay a lot of attention for that. It's going to be a very active playstyle build, so if that's your go-to, then this is going to be an awesome build. But if you're more of a lazy casual player, then mod for Hysteria or something, you know, like go for a duration efficiency build and maybe neglect a little bit of power strength, you know, stuff like that. It's really down to you and your playstyle. Valkyr is just one of those build or one of those warframes where you can make multiple builds, right? You know, it's just down to personal preference. I have Cruiser Protection on here because I like killing the armored enemies a little bit faster. You can go ahead and use Steel Charge if you so please, but, you know, in the greater scheme of things, if I wanted to use the likes of Valkyr in a very long defense mission, I'm gonna want to be running Cruiser Projection because that's just going to help out with my damage basically long term, especially if I'm playing with 3 other players. So if we go ahead and we take a look at the melee weapon I'm using my own Zaw, which is a spin the win Zaw. Melee 3.0, like I said, is right around the corner, so how we mod melee weapons may change entirely, but I only have one attack speed mod on here, and that is Berserker. Other than that, it's just basically crit and damage, so we have Blood Rush and Organ Shatter for crit chance and crit damage, Prime Pressure Point for main damage, Maiming Strike for that flat additive 90% on slide. I have a Ribbon, which gives us more range, Electric Damage, which helps us make corrosive if I pair that with Prime Fever Strike, and then I have Slide Attack on that as well, and then Drifting Contact for a little bit more status to counteract the minus status on my Ribbon, and then also increase that combo duration by 10 seconds, but I could completely neglect status and get an extra 2 seconds on here by throwing on Body Count instead. That is entirely up to you. Stance doesn't matter too much because it is a spin to win, but like I said, you can use pretty much any melee, and most crit builds for melee are built with, you know, Blood Rush Body Count or Blood Rush Drifting Contact, Organ Shatter, and then obviously your elements and your damage and stuff like that. So they're more or less built the same way. You're going to be using Berserker on them. I don't really like using Fury or Prime Fury that much unless it's like a full status weapon like the Legion, for example. But other than that, this is like kind of my usual melee setup that I've been using in casual missions because it's just like the meta that I've sort of adapted, right? And I know you're going to get people in the comments here like, you know, oh, it's spin the win, Resident Sleeper. Well, I don't care. You know, that's pretty much it. I'm just going to play the game how I want to play it and, you know, use the stuff that D have put in the game on purpose. So, yeah. But other than that, moving on to the Talons, I actually use Sacrificial Steel on here to increase the crit chance, and that takes it up to 94%. Prime Pressure Point for our damage, Prime Fever Strike and Shocking Touch for our corrosive, then Molten Impact for fire damage on top of that. Berserker for more attack speed, Organ Shatter for more crit damage, and then we stack up or double down on our corrosive damage for more damage versus the likes of the Heavy Gunners and stuff like that. So what I'm going to show you guys first is the Warcry mechanic or the Eternal War mechanic, basically, you know, going all the way up to 29 seconds, because if we take a look at the abilities, we can see the stats. So our Warcry radius, it's flat 25 meters, which is pretty decent. Duration at base 15 seconds, which is awesome. Has an armor increase of 144.5%, which is dope. Speed increase of 144.5%, which again is really cool. Speed decrease of 75%, because if you made them any slower, then it would be better than Nova. So yeah. Paralysis is an ability that I don't really use that much, so I don't know, like, the stats are there if you want to take a look at them, but again, I don't care about it. But then we have Hysteria, which, like I mentioned before, is just for your lifesteal, right? With this build, it's you pop it, you hit an enemy, you get your health back, and then that's it. You know, you have that 3.25 energy per second drain, which isn't the best. So it's 5% lifesteal on your total damage dealt, and because you're going to be dealing pretty big numbers, that's okay, it just being 5%. Like, usually if you have Life Strike on your build, you're keeping it unranked anyway, so it's 5% of your total damage dealt is what you're going to get back in health. So if you deal 1,000 damage, 5% of 1,000, that's how much health you're going to get back. So let's just go ahead and show you guys how to get your duration up. So you see, once we cast Warcry, 15-second duration, we spawn in all of our enemies. They're going to be frozen for now. If we go and we kill them, like so, it extends the duration, right? So that's what you have to be paying attention to, and that caps out at 29 seconds, so it's not going to go any higher than that, so you can't really do that. But that's where playing actively comes in, right? So you have to be paying attention to that duration right there. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to up the level of the enemies, and we're going to unpause them, and you're going to see how tanky our Valkyr actually is. So let's see if we take any damage here. I'm actually invincible. Hold on. That's an oversight. Let's just go ahead and change that real quick. So kill the enemies. make myself not invincible, spawn them in again, and I guess I can show you guys like the slowing down effect and the armor reduction effect and yada yada yada. So check this out. We jump in the middle, hit our war cry. They can still damage us. They're slowed down though, so it gives us that opportunity to go ahead and you know, hit them and stuff like that. And if we happen to do take any damage, well then you know, we're pretty tanky, so we can actually take pretty decent amount of shots from those heavy gunners right there. And of course I have Arcane Guardian and Arcane Grace helping out there as well, which is huge, by the way, because that's healing over time and extra armor. And as we all know, Valkyr has the highest base armor in the game, you know, so that's not taking into account abilities and the like, because like if you take into account abilities, then Chroma has the highest armor whenever you use like the likes of Vex armor, etc, etc. But more or less, if you're paying attention to what's happening in the game and you don't get hit by like a nullifier or something, you're more or less unkillable. Like, go ahead and hit your Hysteria, deal some damage, you get all of your health back. So as long as you're actively paying attention to your energy, you know, getting it back with your Xenrix, so then you're ready for the next Hysteria cast if you so need it, paying attention to the duration on your Warcry and whether or not you have enough energy to cast that, and then just like meleeing the shit out of enemies, then you're gonna be good to go. Like, Valkyr is just one of those very insane frames which, if played right, can be super fun, very effective, and very rewarding, right? So other than that, the only other thing I could say is if you want to, use Arcane Strike. Like I said though, with a few weapons, if you stack too much attack speed, you're actually going to end up like messing up your animations or your combos. So if we take a look at, let's say, a Nakana, I'll use my Nakana Zaw because why not? And then we use the Blind Justice stance. Let's see if we can go ahead and equip that. Stance mods, Blind Justice. What am I missing on there? I think an element, so we can go ahead and we can throw on a dual status element. So let's go ahead and use the likes of, let me see if I can find anything. We'll use Violent Scourge just to stack up that corrosive. And then, yep, okay, colors match. And then let's go with Arcane Strike. Nope, I'm typing in Arcane in a Arcane area like an idiot instead of just typing in Strike. There we go. So let's go ahead and pause the enemies because we've got some weird combos on this. Use our 2 and just go ahead and attack. Okay, it's not actually doing it there, but with our blocking combo, I can't actually seem to block. Why can I not block? That's kind of weird. Did I unbind it? Customize key bindings. Melee block. Weird. Weird that it would unbind that. Strange. But yeah, check this out. So sometimes you'll notice that it just cancels the animation on me because we're attacking too fast because we have the Arcane Strike and we have the you know, the Warcry buff on there. So we're attacking a little bit too fast is something that happens, but you know, it's something to watch out for. It's not a huge problem, but like I said, with the focus with Melee 3.0, it's going to be on combos and stuff like that. So that's a tidbit which is worth kind of keeping in mind because it mainly messes up the EEE combo because of the timing or the spacing between your E presses. Like if you're just mashing it, you have to almost be like lightning fast or give it a little bit more space or whatever to kind of hit it perfectly. So it just makes it a little bit more complicated than it has to be. But other than that, Valkyr, Umbral build, Warcry, insane, awesome, fun, cool. You can stack it with like Volt's speed buff and have insane attack speed and just have a really fun spin to win or condition overload, you know, Zaw, polearm. It's awesome, it's insane, and I recommend trying it out. But other than that, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button below. If you'll see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.